Can you imagine splitting with your best friend over some guy named Donald? I would have answered that question in the negative not so long ago. Donald is good at drawing. He is a year older than we are, is sweet, and since he turned 16, will come pick a person up in his Jeep if it is snowing out and the person wants to get out of the house. He knows how to do some tricks on a skateboard. We've known him since elementary school, when he used to give us the good parts of his lunch, homemade cookies. My lunches had mini carrots for dessert, and let us use his bike when we wanted it. Then, toward the end of junior high school, he and Molly started to date. It seemed sort of half-hearted while they were dating, at least to me. He drove her places and bought her things. But he'd always done that. She seemed, I don't know, not in love, just in like. They liked a lot of the same subtitled movies, and many of the same artists whose works featured things like decaying animals and full bosoms. But apparently these shared interests, plus hanging out all the time, was not enough to sustain their relationship. They broke up after about 2 years. So that was a long time to be half-heartedly together, I will admit. But neither of them seemed really upset after the breakup. They stayed pals. So did Donald and I. We'd always liked each other. Before and even during the time that he and Molly were together, sometimes we'd sit on the couch together, under a blanket, and talk. Sometimes we'd hug. It probably wasn't appropriate. After they broke up last summer, when I turned 16, it seemed less inappropriate. Still not perfectly appropriate, but less inappropriate. We went to the movies together one time after he and Molly broke up, just Donald and me. The movies up the street from my parents' old house. It was supposed to be a funny movie. It wasn't a funny movie. We stayed through the whole thing, though, and shared a popcorn mixed with peanut M&Ms that he bought, of course. We held hands. He drove me home. Came inside to hang out some more. My parents were already in bed. We decided to have some schnapps from their dusty, rarely used liquor cabinet. Make that I decided. Donald was up for anything. Schnapps, no schnapps. It tasted like sweet, peachy fire. My brother wandered downstairs while we were drinking the schnapps. He saw the bottle on the table. "You're drinking Mom and Dad's liquor?" he asked sleepily. "What is that?" "A little schnapps," I said. I giggled. This all seemed hysterical. "It's funny that Jews drink an alcohol originated by German monks," said Ben. "They thought it had medicinal purposes." "I'm feeling very healthy," Donald said. He laughed. My brother smelled the liquor. "Peach," he said. "Peaches originated in China, though the name suggests that the fruit originally comes from Persia. Peaches have been cultivated in China for thousands of years. About 4,000 years, in fact." And as he did most nights, Ben poured a glass of milk, drank it, scratched himself in the crotch, and went back to bed. It got to be 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, 2:30. Donald started off on Dad's leather reading chair while I lounged on the somewhat severe wool couch, shoes off, feet akimbo, hair spilled over the throw pillows. But over time, our seating arrangement shifted. I invited him to sit with me on the couch. Then Donald and I sat on the severe couch together under a blanket, watching infomercials, and cuddling. He smoothed my hair with his hands. It was easy, once we were tucked in, for me to kiss him. And at that point, I seized an opportunity, by way of seizing my best friend's ex-boyfriend's pants zipper. I was tired of being a virgin. No one I knew was a virgin anymore. Note, it's possible I didn't know that many people. Donald, not a virgin, had a condom. We used it. The experience itself was not especially loving, or exciting, or painful. It lasted a little while, long enough to get through part of an ad for something called the Sham Wow, and I felt a little bit embarrassed as it was happening, plus a little curious how one cloth could do so many different things. But I was glad to do it. And then, sweet relief, it was done. Afterwards, I said to Donald, my new lover,